Hello and good afternoon. It is January 1st, 2024. We're here in Arvada, Colorado, and we've got Necrons versus Aeldari in a 1,000-point battle here. The Aeldari's force is the King's Wrath, and the Necron force is Brutal's Bane. Is that correct?
Yeah, I thought it was Warriors of Cain, but that's okay.
No, you.
Yeah, Boontal's Bane for the...
Oh, yes, it is the Warriors of Cain for Aeldari. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
We've received
Cain
Dawn of War deployments, so there's deployment on either long table edge. There's a total of 5 objectives, 3 no man lands objectives on apple, banana, and cherry, and then 1 objective in each deployment zone, 1 dolphin, 1 elephant. Eldar are kind of here on the far side of the table. Deployment has been completed. We've selected our mission, which was the Sites of Power. There is great power for those bold enough to claim it. In this mission, in order to get an objective or primary objective victory points, there's 2 ways to do it. One, you can do it just like normal. If you have object control over an objective, starting in round 2, at the end of your command phase, you can gain 3 victory points for that. Up to 15 in a turn, and then in addition to that, any of the No Man's Land's objectives, if they are controlled by a character, you get an additional 3 points. So each objective in No Man's Land can generate up to 6 victory points per turn, starting in round 2. We're also playing with tactical secondary objectives, so those will be randomly generated, and we'll be going through that for the game. I'll go ahead and start with the Aeldari force, which is again the Warriors of Cain. We'll start over here on the far side. I am using almost all counts as models right here. So this is the Farseer Skyrunner. He's the warrior of the warlord of the Warriors of Cain. His name is Arle. Then we'll come over here to the Avatar of Cain, which is Itbi Faima, which stands for If the blood fits, you must acquit. So excited to see how he's going to do this game. Moving over this side, we've got 10 Storm Squad Guardians with a Serpent Scale platform that are hiding there behind that multicolor cube. And then we had 2 Infiltrator deployments for the Aeldari. We had 10 Striking Scorpions with a Striking Scorpion Exarch with Scorpion's Claw there. And then we also had 5 Rangers with Ranger long rifles. Really hoping for a first turn with this deployment. Over here in reserves, the Aeldari have 10 Striking Scorpions with a Striking Scorpion Exarch. The Exarch has...
Warp Spiders.
Warp Spiders, thank you. 10 Warp Spiders with a Warp Spider Exarch with Power Blades and twin Death Spinners. And that is it for the Aeldari force. And Dave, if you want to walk through Necrons.
Yeah, no problem. So this first unit, I've got Boontal himself here, Locust Lord. He has a Staff of Light and an enhancement, which is the Nano Scarab Casket, which gives him and his unit the stealth ability. 6 Locust Destroyers with him. Next, coming down the line, we have an Annihilation Barge that has a twin-linked Tesla Destructor on top and an underslung Gauss Cannon on the bottom. Next unit we have a unit of 3 Canoptic Wraiths. They're all equipped with Vicious Claws and Particle Casters. They're led by a Technomancer named Toltec. Next we have a Canoptic Spider. He has a Gloom Prism, which gives people within 6 inches of him 5+, feel no pain, and against mortal wounds and psychic attacks. And then he has a Fabricator Claw, which gives vehicles within 6 inches of him 6+, feel no pain. He also has twin-linked Particle Beamer on top. And I have no Scarabs, so he's not going to do any Scarabs shenanigans. I then have a unit of 3 Tomb Blades. They're all equipped with the twin Tesla carbines. And Shadow Loom, which gives them the stealth ability. Finally, on the table, I have a Doomsday Arc, and so it has the Doomsday Cannon, and then Gauss Flux Arrays. And then in reserves, I have a Hexmark Destroyer, and he has an enhancement, which I can't remember the name, something dermal. Anyways, it gives him a 4+ feel no pain.
And there's the battlefield as we have it. Right before the first turn, we just rolled off, and Necrons claimed first turn. So we'll go ahead and see how much damage, or if there are any Eldar left after first turn. Might be a quick game here, but we're playing atypical lists for both of us.
Yeah.
So,
No warriors.
No warriors.
No Ghost Arc.
Yeah, no Wraith Lord. Anyway, no Guardian Defenders. So we're going to go ahead and leave it there, and we'll catch back up with you at the end of Necron turn 1. Welcome to the end of Battle Round 1. Necrons versus Aeldari. The Warriors of Cain versus Baltun's Bane.
Boontal's Bane.
Boontal's Bane,
Pretty
sorry.
close. No, you're right.
Necrons had first turn. As you remember, there was a group of striking scorpions here, no longer there. The Necrons used a majority of their firepower to completely decimate that unit off the map. And then they used the remainder of their firepower. The Doomsday Arc shot its Doomsday Cannon at the Avatar, which was in cover. And with that powerful of a blast, was able to deal 4 wounds of damage to the Avatar. And in their movement phase, the Hexmark Destroyer dropped down with Deep Strike behind the Farseer that was over here behind the tanks. And unleashed Doom with all his pistols, dealing 1 damage to the Farseer. And that was the end of Necron's turn 1.
A failed charge with the Wraiths.
Oh, thank you, yes.
Which is no longer on
the Wraiths that were up on this objective attempted to charge the Avatar, which was behind this rail car, and failed significantly. With some poor roll there. Anything else for Necron turn 1?
No, I was able to score some secondaries.
Yes. So Necrons had overwhelming force and extend battle lines. So overwhelming force, they got victory points for clearing enemy units off of objectives. And the striking scorpions were on an objective. So a tough unit to crack, and the Necrons obliterated them. So they got 3 victory points there, and then extended battle lines. They got victory points as long as they held 1 objective inside their deployment zone and 1 outside. So they held the central objective, and then they also held Elephant. So that gave them an additional 5 points. So at the end of their turn 1, Necrons were sitting at 8 points. Moving on into Aeldari, turn 1, Warriors of Cain fought back with a vengeance. The Storm Squad Guardians moved out from behind the crate and started to get closer towards the destroyers. The Rangers shifted over to get within objective control of the Cherry objective. The Avatar moved forward within close striking distance of both the Tomb Blades, which were here, along with the Wraiths and the Technomancer. The Farseer moved around here to get closer to the Hexmark Destroyer, and in the process, the Hexmark Destroyer did fire Overwatch and managed to do a 2nd point of damage to the Farseer. So well done there on the Necron side. Last bit of movement for the phase. The Warp Spiders dropped out a Deep Strike and unloaded on the 3 Tomb Blades. They were able to kill 1 and damage a 2nd of the 3. And that kind of transitions into our shooting phase. The Farseer then hit the same Tomb Blade squad with Eldritch Storm and managed to kill off another one. However, just prior to him doing that, I guess I actually forgot, they used a stratagem which was...
Protocol of the Undying Legions, which allowed them to activate the reanimation protocols after losing a model in a shooting phase.
That's right. So even though they had been eliminated down to a single model left, they were able to get back up to full strength mid-turn. So even after Eldritch Storm, they still had 2 models left. Then the other shots from the Farseer were into the Hexmark Destroyer between his Singing Spear, Shuriken Pistol, and Twin-Link Shuriken Catapults. He was able to do one wound to the Hexmark Destroyer. The Avatar then decided to throw his Wailing Doom into the Tomb Blades, and with some Strands of Fate rolls, was able to eliminate the Tomb Blades. The Rangers used their precision long rifles to target the Technomancer in the Wraith unit and brought him down from 4 wounds down to 1 remaining. And lastly, for shooting, the Storm Squad Guardians were able to do 2 points of damage to one of the destroyers with their Shuriken pistols. So pretty successful shooting phase for the Eldar. Then moved into charge phase. The Avatar successfully charged the Wraiths and the Technomancer, and the Farseer successfully charged the Hexmark Destroyer. In this combat, the Farseer did no damage, didn't end up getting through the defenses of the Hexmark. Hexmark struck back and did another wound, or another point of damage to the Farseer. So Farseer has 2 wounds remaining there. In the combat over here, the Avatar attacked with its Wailing Doom and was able to eliminate both the 2 remaining Wraiths, as well as the Technomancer. And I guess I forgot to mention that in Necron turn 1, the Avatar did use Overwatch to kill one of the Wraiths with his Wailing Doom. Mm-hmm. But that's the end of Aeldari. Aeldari turn 1, the Avatar consolidated onto the objective, and the Aeldari were able to get some secondary objectives. They achieved no prisoners, which was destroying enemy units. So 2 enemy units were destroyed for a total of 4 victory points, and they were able to secure No Man's Land, getting at least 2. They currently control all the objectives in No Man's Land. So they were able to get at least 2 of those. For 5 victory points. So currently, Eldar have 9, Necrons have 8. Very close battle right now. Anything could happen, and we will get back to you in round 2. Welcome back. End of Necrons turn 2 in the Necrons vs. Aeldari match. New Year's Day 2024. Pretty good turn for the Necrons all in all. The heavy destroyers in Boon Tal shifted this way in the movement phase. This didn't move. The Canoptek Spider did shift forward some, still within range of the objective. The Doomsday Ark did not shift, and the Hexmark Destroyer was still in combat. As far as shooting goes, the Canoptek Spiders started everything, unloading on the Warp Spiders and managing to kill 2 of them. Then the Annihilation Barge opened up. It fired at both the Avatar, where it did no damage, and then it also fired its
Tesla Destructor.
Tesla Destructor, thank you. At the Rangers, ended up killing 3 of the 5 that were there. And its electricity special rule did not affect either of these units, even though they were in close proximity. Following that, the Doomsday Ark opened up. The Doomsday Ark fired its Gauss arrays at the Warp Spiders, managing to kill another 2, and then fired its Doomsday Cannon at the Avatar. The Avatar enacted lightning-fast reflexes, and it was able to avoid any damage there. Following the Doomsday arc, the destroyers and Boontal got to work. Boontal, with his Staff of Light, managed to kill the rest of the Rangers. So well done there by the army's warlord. The rest of the heavy destroyers unloaded on the Avatar and it managed to do another 2 damage, getting past all his defenses there. So really well done. Probably the most crushing portion of the turn for me was when the Hexmark Destroyer opened up fire with its 6 pistols against the Farseer and ended up killing him. The Farseer, despite having the Phoenix Gem, Strands of Fate, command rerolls, all of those still failed, and he died a painful death. So that brings us to the end of Necron turn 2. Successful turn in destroying things. As far as capturing objectives, the Necrons had Investigate Signals, which they did not complete, and Defend Stronghold, which will activate at the end of my turn, or the Aeldar turn. So we'll activate that here potentially when we come back. They did score 3 primary primary victory points for holding the elephant objective at the beginning of the turn. That's it for Necron turn 2.
Yep. Welcome to bottom of Battle Round 2, bottom of Aeldari turn 2. Somewhat interesting. Aeldari drew 2 new secondary missions: Defend Stronghold and Attempting Target. They started with their move phase. The Storm Squad went to capture this objective. The destroyers fired Overwatch and ended up killing 3 of them. So pretty solid there. The Warp Spiders moved from this objective and flicker jumped over here. And due to a special rule, the Hexmark Destroyer was able to Overwatch again for no command points and ended up killing 2 more Warp Spiders. So well done there. And then the Avatar moved forward onto the rail car here. We went into shooting phase, where the Warp Spiders ended up taking 2 wounds off the Hexmark Destroyer. The Avatar sent its Wailing Doom towards the Canoptic Spider, but ended up missing, even with some rerolls. And then the Storm Squad Guardians fired at the destroyers and didn't do any damage. Then we got into combat, and out of frustration, the Avatar charged the Canoptic Spider, slicing it in half, and then consolidating into the Annihilation Barge. That was the end of Aeldar turn 2. I miss anything, Dave?
No, you scoring secondary objectives.
Yes, I did. I did end up scoring Attempting Target for 5 points. I also, at the beginning of the phase, scored 3 primary objectives. So I scored both. I had 1 on Banana for the Warp Spiders, and which was 3 points, and then I had a character here. So that was worth 3 for empowering the objective and another 3 for holding it. So a total of 9. So total points right now, Aeldar 23, Necrons 11. We'll see you in turn 3. Okay, welcome back. Bottom of Necron turn 3 here, New Year's Day battle. Not New Year's Day anymore. January 2nd, we're deep into it here. End of Necron turn 3, movement phase. The destroyers shifted back strategically away from certain threats. The Annihilation Barge fell back in order to potentially claim an objective. The Necrons discarded Investigate Signals. They still had Defend Stronghold, but they picked up Area Denial, which is what he was trying to get, which is capturing the middle of the board. So he fell back and moved over there. The Doomsday Arc didn't move, neither did the Hexmark Destroyer. We rolled into shooting phase, starting with the Doomsday Arc, unloaded everything at the Avatar, to no avail, didn't damage. Hexmark Destroyer still very consistently killed 2 Warp Spiders and did a wound to the Warp Spider Exarch. And then moving around here, again, very, very powerful unit right here. Boontal himself killed another 3 Storm Guardians, and this unit unloaded everything else at the Avatar and managed to do 1 more damage. At the end of the turn, the Aeldari were able to defend their stronghold with the remaining troops here. So they gained 3 victory points for that. And the Necrons got area denial for 5 points right here. So that's the end of Necron turn 3.
Don't forget about the tempting target.
What about tempting target? That happened in my turn.
Oh, I see.
I've already mentioned that. Yep.
And then what's the score now?
The score, Aeldari have 9, 18 plus 8, so they got 26, and Necron have up to 16, 26 to 16. Welcome back. Now January 2nd, bottom of turn 3 for the Aeldari, bottom of battle round 3. Not a whole lot happened. Command phase came and scored a decent amount of primary objective points. Aeldari scored 12 points. The Storm Squad Guardian scored Cherry, which was 3. We had Warp Spiders down here capturing Dolphin, which was 3. And then we had the Avatar capturing 3 and then empowering for another 3. So a total of 12 primary objective points there. 2 battle shock tests, both passed. Then we went into moving. The Storm Squad advanced behind this acute pyramid or obelisk type of thing, slinking away. The Eldar also got 2 new objectives, which were area denial and investigate signals. They dropped investigate signals by burning the CP. And picked up capture enemy outpost, which is capturing an enemy's objective in my turn. Going on to moving, they moved there. He decided not to stay, so he could still capture the enemy outpost there. And then to kind of shoot the moon and see if he could get area denial, the Warp Spiders decided to flicker jump, but the Hexmark Destroyer shot him down before they could even make it with his amazing Overwatch rule. So again, he's earned his salt for sure.
MVP for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, between them and the destroyers for the Necrons, I think. Okay, so that was movement. We went to shooting. Avatar hit and wounded, but a 4+ invulnerable save on the Annihilation Barge saved it from imminent destruction. And that's it. At the end of the turn, the Eldar picked up another 8 victory points for completing the enemy outpost, or what is it, capture enemy outpost action item. At the end of this turn, Eldar picked up a total of 20 extra victory points this turn. Score right now is 46 to 16. This is bottom of Necron turn 4 and Necron versus Aeldari here at the beginning of the year. Lots of movement towards objectives. The Necron destroyers move forwards towards the Cherry objective here. The Annihilation Barge moved over. There were initially no primary objectives scored. Annihilation Barge moved right next to the Avatar. The Doomsday Ark shifted as close as it could towards the Banana objective, and then the Hexmark Destroyer advanced and moved as close as he could to the Dolphin objective. So that was it as far as moving. Shooting goes. The Annihilation Barge went ahead and fired its underslung Gauss cannon at the Avatar, doing no damage. But did use its its twin Tesla cannons and completely destroyed this unit of Storm Squad Guardians.
With malevolent arcing, huzzah!
Yep. The Doomsday Ark, the Doomsday Ark shot everything it had at the Avatar to no avail. Over here, Boontal was out of range. The Storm Squad Guardians were already destroyed, so the remaining 6 destroyers fired shots over at the Avatar and took it down an additional 3 wounds. So they've done really well at whittling it down. It's down to 3 remaining wounds. Here we are at the bottom of turn 4.
No secondaries.
No secondary objectives, though 2 new ones were drawn. Defend Stronghold was still there, and then a new one was drawn, Attempting Target. So this is the objective that I identified. So if David gets that by the end of his turn, then he'll get an extra 5 victory points there. So we're still sitting at 46-16, and that's the end of Necron turn 4.
Yep, see you at the end.
Welcome back. Bottom of Eldar turn 4, very short. Only the Avatar remains. Based on the 2 secondary objectives I had, which both revolved around the middle objective, I decided not to kill the Annihilation Barge, and he advanced over to get within range of the Apple objective there. And then in the process of doing that, the destroyers fired Overwatch and managed to do another wound to him, so he's down to 2 wounds remaining. But he was able to complete those 2 objectives, plus gain some. He gained 6 primary objectives and 7 victory points for secondary missions in this. So current score: Eldar 59, Necrons 21. At the end of the turn, Necrons also got Defend Stronghold right here. So 59-21 at the bottom of turn 4. Necrons are up next. Welcome back, and to the end of the epic battle between Boontal's Bane and the Warriors of Cain, Necrons versus Eldar's 1,000-point army. We are at the bottom of Necron turn 5, also subsequently the end of the game. The Eldar were wiped off the map in the Necron shooting phase. So to summarize, the destroyers move forward. The Avatar, as you remember, was here. The Hexmark destroyer came up to get into range as well. Then firing opened up. The Hexmark destroyer firing, not doing any damage. And then next up was the Annihilation Barge, which ended up
Doomsday.
Oh, Doomsday Ark did nothing again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Doomsday Ark did no damage to the Avatar again.
Oh wait, no, maybe he.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. Did he attack though?
He did.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
I got 1.
Yeah, he only got 1 hit. Again, lightning fast reactions was a real key to the Avatar's strength. One of the main keys, that and Molten Body. The Ark did nothing. We went on to the Annihilation Barge. The Annihilation Barge fired its underslung Goss and was able to wound it once, bringing it down to 2 wounds. 1 wound. And then it fired its twin Tesla cannons.
Destructor, but yeah,
Destructor, excuse me. Oh no, it did take it down to 2 with the underslung.
Mm-hmm.
Then it took it down 1 more with the Tesla, so it was down to 1. And then with Malevolent
Arcing.
Malevolent Arcing, the Annihilation Barge, which really hadn't done much all game, finally did some mortal wounds against the Avatar and brought it down before the real MVPs could take it down. So well done. In the process of doing that, the Necrons got an extra 7 secondary mission objective or victory points for attempting target with the Hexmark destroyer here, but then also no prisoners. Killing the Avatar was an extra 2. So final points. Eldar had 27 primary victory points, 32 secondary victory points for a grand total of 59. Necrons had 12 primary, 27 secondary for a total of 39. So final score 59-39. Eldars took this one against Necrons today. You wouldn't be able to tell from the battlefield, but fun game all the way to the end. It was a close one. So hope you enjoyed.